Hey, let's get it. Roll the intro music.
Welcome back to A.K.A.'s third episode. Today, we're going to be talking about a little bit of self-growth because everyone goes through that. So let's get going.
Yeah, welcome back. Last time we were here, we talked about the pandemic. Just a bit. I touched on how I grew during the pandemic. So I think this episode we should focus on how like kids our age we're really growing. And I don't even mean physically. Of course we're growing physically, but I mean how as
Well,
people
yeah.
we grow all the time.
Mhm.
Like even when we're not teenagers, we're always growing. Like you're
In,
always
in, our,
becoming a
in
new
our own ways,
person.
yeah.
Yeah, you're always becoming a new person. And I think that's really important to know that like even if you're like, "Oh no, I'm not going to change. I'm always going to be like this." You always change. I've said it to myself so many times.
You are the one person, this is a physical notice, but your hair color has changed all the time. But people's personalities can do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Like
like
one
I
minute someone can be super nice, and then a couple minutes later, their personality's totally different.
Yeah, like I know that I remember when I was in like 6th grade, I always said like, "Oh, I'm never going to change. I'm always going to look like this. I'm always going to be the same person." And then here I am, being the complete opposite of what I used to be in 6th grade. And that's just hilarious cuz it's you
It's so funny to look back at how dumb we were.
I
I'm sorry, we
know.
were so dumb. Like I
Look at
remember just like even the simple things like, oh, that band, oh, they're so good. I'm gonna like them forever. And then 2 years later, like, why did I even listen to them? Like, what the heck?
I think
yeah.
we're completely different people from when we are last year. Like Amelia, Kaylee, we've all changed. And
Yeah,
I think
completely.
the point in my life where I changed was probably at the start of middle school because one of my biggest accomplishments, well, I wouldn't say it's big. It was a big accomplishment that helped me grow as a person was becoming student council president in 8th grade. And I
Yeah,
mentioned
that's
this
that's
Yeah.
our girl. That's our
Yeah, Prez,
girl.
let's go, Prez.
Period.
and I mentioned this a lot. Like I tell people, "Oh, well, not really." Like people know I was student council president like in 8th grade, but not a lot of people know in high school that I was. But I'm not here to brag or anything, but it really did help me grow like as a person. It made me into the person I am today because before taking up this position as president, if you knew me in 6th or 7th grade, you knew I was outgoing. Like I try to make friends with everybody in our grade, even in other grades. But something I really struggled with was my self-confidence, and even to this day, like I still struggle with it. But I've learned how to comfortably and confidently like speak in front of an audience and open up to others because that was another thing I had trouble with opening up with literally anything, my emotions, my feelings. And
Mhm.
And I think we can all agree on that as well. And
Yeah,
I think we've
I've
all touched on that because I've definitely had some problems with self confidence. I still do today, like you do, Alyssa. But they've definitely changed. Like even over the course of a year, they changed so much, and I know what caused them too. Like definitely, my number one reason was other people either yelling at me and telling me what I did wrong, but never showing me how to do it right. And that always lowered me down really badly because I knew I would try my hardest at something, but I would never get that result
recognition.
that I wanted, that
mhm.
recognition, exactly. And with the opening up, I'm an overall private person. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way because, like, I don't do it on purpose. It's just naturally who I am. And I don't notice all the time because it's just natural. It's just those little things that definitely make an impact on someone.
Yeah, like for me, I've I know that you guys have known me forever, and you know that I've never had an issue with confidence. If I had an opinion, I would speak my truth. I would be
Yes, you
so
would.
loud about it. Like I really don't care what other people think of my opinion. I don't care what other people think of me at all. I never had that issue, but I've like as you guys know, I've always had an issue with opening up. I'm the type of person that's I seem open. Like I talk about things like I joke around about stuff, but if I actually have to face an issue, I'd rather deal with it on my own because I just don't like putting my problems onto other people. It's
Yeah,
not
same
even
here.
putting my problems onto other people. I just don't think people need to know what I'm going through. Like I have the mentality, it's really unhealthy, but I have the mentality that I can get through anything I want to alone because I faced so many hardships in my life already and I got through those alone. What makes me think that I can't get through the other ones
That's
alone?
exactly how I thought as well. That's still how I
Yeah.
think today because that's also a bad way to think, but it's also a good way because you're the one living your life and you should be able to run it the way you want independently. But you also need other people. And it's not for like big things like financial and stuff, just for simple advice, like a relationship or a friendship, because who knows, they might have gone through the exact same thing and they could help you. Like I've had so many situations where I've asked both of you or one of you for help, and my whole entire point of view changed,
Oh,
and I was able
definitely.
to make the good decision. I was able to make a really good decision.
Definitely.
So,
There's definitely been
I mean, there's
times
definitely
where
there's good
I needed
aspects.
help with something. Like even if it's like a minor thing, like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it's such a
Like,
small issue, it's a challenge, but again, I always think I could like okay, I'm not talking about homework. Like I'm not
no,
talking
yeah, I mean,
I'm
no.
talking about like issues with like friends. I'll talk to them about it and then we'll form our opinions. So, like I think honestly the most important thing to know is that from personal experience, don't bottle up your emotions as much as you want to, as nice as it seems, thinking that you can control your whole world in your like the palm of your hands. It is a terrible way to live because at some point that bottle is just gonna fall over and spill everywhere.
And there's no way of cleaning
Like
it up.
if you
There's
There's
no
ever
way.
if you ever need help, like you can always reach out. Like you shouldn't be struggling if you shouldn't be struggling on your own, period. Um
Mhm.
exactly.
like even if you aren't very open with your family, because I know there's some people out there that they're not very close with their family members, you always have other people out there that you can reach out to and you can talk to. Maybe like Kaylee said, maybe they have gone through the same thing and maybe they can help you, or maybe they won't, because there's some people that out there that are like, I don't know, maybe judging you for your problems. That shouldn't be a thing. That's kind of
Yeah,
rude.
but there's always gonna be those people. There's gonna be
Yeah.
the jealous people, there's gonna be the people who bathe in drama, there's gonna be the toxic people, there's gonna be a whole bunch of people who are gonna let you down, but it all
You have to
comes down
push through them.
exactly, you have to push through it, and the people who are gonna help you are the people who surround you and make
Mhm.
you you. It's as simple
Yeah.
as it is, even though it's super hard to admit. Like, I had a hard time admitting because, when you're by yourself, a lot of the time, you think a lot and overthinking, which is what I do a lot sometimes.
Oh, all of us.
It
Overthinking
it
is
messes you up. It really like, it makes you overthink really, like, I don't know how to explain it. If you have it, you know what I'm talking
yeah.
about.
Mhm.
If you're an overthinker, even the slightest thing, if someone's
Slightest thing.
tone changes when talking to you, you immediately think that they lost interest in the conversation. If I'm like mid conversation with someone and they suddenly get quiet, I'm just going to assume that they lost interest in the conversation. Which like again, that's why I always I always ask questions. If I have a suspicion that someone is being like distant or they're just starting to act weird, I always ask, even if I ask too much. Like for me, I'd rather ask too much than not know at all, because at least that
Yeah,
gives you some
that's a good point.
closure.
Exactly, that's a good point. I think with that, we've all kind of grown with that as well. We've
Hmm.
all gotten better at that state, and what made us better was the things that we've already stated. It's just pushing through, acknowledging the people that's around you. It's also like for me, I got really good at the stuff that I was troubled with actually through meditation. Like that sounds really dumb for like a 16-year-old to even do that. Like you think about it, you're like, "Oh, why would you do that?"
Well, yeah,
But
why would someone meditate?
why
But
would I meditate? But it actually helps because your mind is like a machine, and at some point you got to slow it down, and that's the best way I found to slow it down. And I've actually gained more things doing that in the sense of I think so fast that the time is going so slow, but I'm going through so many things.
mhm.
But once I slow down my head, everything is just my own paced, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm able to make better decisions that way.
I used to hate opening up about my problems. Like I'm still not a big fan of it, but a part of my self-growth is learning to be more open with those types of things because there's always someone listening. That's what I'm trying to like force into my head right now. There is always someone listening to me no matter how much I think they don't want to. Because I'm scared that I'm bothering people when I open up, but even if it's just like some random person that just asks how my day is, if I'm just like, I've had better days, and if they ask what's wrong, like I'm not gonna push my problems onto them. I'm just simply like, I have to learn that I can't keep hiding my feelings just because I don't want to make people like feel bad. Because it's better to be honest than hiding your emotions. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
got you.
pushing
I think I
through
like that a lot.
all that you've gone through, like even in like the worst stages in your life, you just got to push through. Opening up and talking to someone is probably one of like the biggest troubles for teenagers nowadays because of the pandemic, like we talked in the last episode. We're socially distanced from our friends. We're kind of forced to, we're not able to see our friends, and not being able to talk to someone can push us in that corner of just isolation and not being able to open up even more. But I think once you step out of that comfort zone and kind of like this isolation period, you'll be able to, so many new doors and so many new opportunities are open. Because like when I ran for president, I didn't even consider running for president. Only then my history teacher actually came up to me and told me I would be a good president. Becoming president just was the first step in proving to myself that I can do this and that I can continue this on with to the rest of my life. Because even now in high school, I became class representative for my freshman year and my sophomore year.
That's
And even
cool.
though it isn't
That's what's up.
even though it isn't a big responsibility as being like the president, it's, as I said, it's still, I still prove that I have this self-confidence, this worth in myself that I can become a better person. And yeah.
Yeah, I think like from you, what I took from that personally is like you have to find something to ignite like a fire. If you find like a little spark, it really just ignited it. Just the way you were saying, like your history teacher was a little spark that ignited like it helped you. Like you're the fire and your history teacher was just a spark that you needed to like push yourself forward. And that's
Yeah,
what's
I like
important.
that.
You always have to find your spark to light your
Even
fire.
in like the littlest things.
Yeah, and it could be as
Yeah,
simple like, even, like, as big as you're talking, it could be something simple, like Amelia said, when someone asks how your day is, that brightens
exactly.
someone's up so much, because then it actually thinks that someone does care about you, and they actually do
Yeah,
wanna know about you,
Like an
and
example from
that's awesome.
my life was, I don't want to brag again, but I get told a lot that I'm a good leader. I don't know if
and
I'm a
you
good leader.
are.
You are, yeah, you
But
are.
when you hear some compliments like that, like, "You're such good at," like, whatever, like, it just makes it 10 times better because,
It
like,
really does, it really does.
hearing that you're a good leader from another person is so good because you can't tell yourself you're a good leader. Others
Exactly.
have to. Because you're leading those people who are telling you, because 'cause they're telling you that you have leadership qualities. They see leadership qualities in you. And one of these examples, and this is gonna sound really stupid, but one of my proudest moments in freshman year was in gym class. Yes, gym class. I know everyone hates gym class, but we were doing this activity where we had to get from one side of the gym to the other, and the floor was lava, and we only had these like red circle dots. And basically, we had to place the circle dots on the floor, and there always had to be 2 feet on each circle dot, whatever. And the person in the front was kinda like the leader. And every time we went, we kept failing until I stepped up and I was like, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be in the front. I'm gonna lead our team to the other side." And I told them, "On my count, we're gonna each step and we're gonna come together." And my team successfully made it to the other side before the other team. And after, the teachers kind of gathered us up and asked us some questions, how every gym teacher does. I don't know. And one of the gym teachers pointed out how great my leadership was, even though I'm such a tiny person. I have such a loud voice to lead my team. And I was sitting in the corner cramping up because I was doing splits the whole time during this activity. Oh my gosh, I hate yeah. And it was such like a small and stupid thing, but when someone recognizes something that made you proud, as I said, it just makes it 10 times better. So I encourage everyone to go out and tell your friends that you're doing such a great job. Like Amelia, Kaylee, you're doing such a great job. I love you
You
guys.
know what,
Those are the
Alyssa?
best.
You're doing a great job. You know what? Whoever's listening to this, you're doing a
You're
great
doing a great
job.
job.
We love you. You're doing a great job. I don't know what
No,
you're
but
doing,
that's
but you're doing a
exactly
great
right.
job.
You're doing a great job because someone else's compliment means 100%. I'm gonna say it so many times because it is true. It means that much more when it comes from someone else, and even if it's someone you don't know, it means so much more when it comes from someone else besides yourself.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
it's always gonna boost you up because that goal that you have in the future, no matter what it is, no matter how big it is, no matter how far it is, you could still get there with everyone else's support. And as simple as the support is.
I think, like Alyssa said, my major accomplishment isn't something too big, but it means a lot to me. And it's gonna sound stupid, but I think my biggest accomplishment is still being here. I know that sounds really weird, but it really is because I've went through a bunch of things, a handful during middle school. And again, I never opened up about it, and I'm still not the type to, but I overcame it, and the fact that I am still here is just like it is one of my proudest accomplishments. Like sometimes I'll just sit down after a long good day, I'll sit down and be like, "Wow, I actually did that." Like I actually did that. If I pass a test, I'll sit down and be like, "Oh my god. I can't I'm so proud of myself. I've gotten this far and I'm still like breathing. I'm still here." Of course, I always have my off days, but it happens to the best of us. Like, the world isn't sunshine all the time. There are always cloudy days. Like, I always have my bad days, but I have my good days too. And when I do have my good days, I remember how important it is to be here, to stay here no matter how hard it is, because I really did not think that at this age I when I was 11, I did not think that 15-year-old me was going to be here. But 15-year-old me is here, and that's what's important.
That's
And
what's up.
Let's go. That's what's up. Yeah,
that's what's
exactly.
important for everyone that's listening, that no matter how hard it is, whatever you're going through right now, at some point it'll get easier. Even if you're going through years of it, it really will get easier. Even if it takes months, years, decades, who knows? It will get better and it's never worth giving up on. And that's a big part of self growth. Remembering that never give up no matter what's happening. Never give up on your goals, never give up on a assignment, never give up on your friends, never give up on yourself. That's what's important. Just never give up. There's
Because
yeah,
it's just simple. I mean, as simple as it is, like I said, it's gonna work in the long run. And
exactly.
the
But
way I think
as
all the
much as
time
you
is
want to give
that
up. Yeah, as much as
you
you
want
want
to
to
give
give
up.
up,
Exactly.
don't. I know that sounds
Yeah.
really weird just hearing it me say it. Just, oh, don't give up. But I know from me, I know how hard it is to try to not give up. I know how difficult it is to get through that, to plow through that. I speak from my personal experiences, and it was one of the hardest things, but I know that you can do it. I have so much faith in the person listening. If someone needed to hear this today, I have so much faith in you. Like
You're gonna get through it.
you're gonna get
You're gonna
through
get
it. You're
through it.
gonna
No matter what, you're
plow
gonna get
through
through
it
it.
and you're gonna show them what's up.
You know what?
You're gonna show them who's boss.
Life has our ups and downs, and it happens to all of us. Even if you're the happiest person in the world, you're gonna have some of those times where you don't feel your best, and that is okay. That is totally fine.
Never feel
Completely fine. You're
pressured to
always gonna
keep
have
that
those.
smile. If you're known as the person with the smile, never feel pressured to keep that smile. You're gonna have your bad days. It happens.
And never be afraid of change either, because as much as you, or not just you, but other people want you to stay that way in their eyes, if you want to change, change because it's up to you. And the way I always think about it is why, not why, but you simply can't move forward by jumping all the time because you're not going to get there fast enough. You have to take one step at a time. And that goes with
Yeah.
everything. Like, I am so glad Amelia is here right now talking because, and that goes for Alyssa too, because I know half the things that I have done in my life, I wouldn't have been able to do without them.
And
And
vice versa.
it was all because they took that extra step to get to where they are today. And that's the same with me. Like my major accomplishment is as simple as joining a voice call or texting someone hi. Because as simple as that is, I know I've said simple so many times, but it's true. It's so hard to do. Depending on what your situation is, it's so hard to do. So for me, just doing that little thing took a lot of guts. And I mean, I was able to do it eventually, and it took time, but with everyone's support, I was able to do it. And there's also with that, like even I have like a story, like kind of like Alyssa with basketball. Like I play basketball, and I always had this one coach who would bring me down so hard, saying that I like, oh, I couldn't do something right or I couldn't do this right. And so I immediately thought like I'll never do that right. You know, that's just how your mind works. It goes to the negative before it goes to the positive. And you just think, "Oh, I can't do that." It's like it's as simple as that. I can't do that. But once you think of it in the positive light, you can do that. And if you just take that one step forward, you're going to make it there. And I'll tell you what, I practiced so hard and now I finally got like on that varsity team
That's what's
and it
up.
paid off. And it paid off.
It pays
I'm
off.
there right now. Bro, I'm literally if you look on the town, I got on the newspaper. I'm so proud of myself because I took that extra step. I'm not bragging, but I literally took that extra step and I got myself there. And you see these NBA players and all these other sports players and even just motivational speakers. They got to where they are on that stage or on that field because they took that step.
I think it
Yeah,
starts off with knowing that you're worth it, and you are. Like,
You
of
are.
course.
just knowing that you can accomplish more than what you think is the first step. And just getting there is I'm so proud of you. If you got there, I'm so proud of you. Just
Exactly. There's
And I'm so
always
proud of you if
people.
you're in the making of getting there. I'm so proud of you.
Exactly. It's a process. It is a long, tiring process, but in the end, it's really worth it. It's mentally draining, it's physically exhausting, but once you get to the end, you will realize how grateful you are. And that's what's important to know. Just
That's what's important.
never give up. Always push through your problems.
And if you need help with something, don't be afraid to reach out because those people who really truly want to help you will help you.
There are friends you could reach out to. There's us. There's hotlines. There are parental figures, teachers. There's always someone there. You are never alone. And if you don't want to call someone, shoot them a text. That also works. A big part for me, a big part of my self growth was speaking out about that. Just knowing I need to know that I'm not alone. There's always someone there. And if I'm too scared to call someone, there's always someone I could text. It's you have to know that it's important that you speak out about your problems. And that's how you're going to grow to be the best person you could be.
And you're already great. So just about getting
Just
better.
keep just yeah, exactly. You're already amazing. But now you're just going to grow and you're going to become even more amazing. It never ends. As you get older, you become more and more amazing. And that's what's up.
That's what's up. So on that note, and on a happy note, on a positive note, because
On a positive note.
everything has a positive note. You just gotta look for
Exactly.
it.
Everything has a
And
happy ending.
everything has a happy ending. Just gotta look for it. And we'll see you in the next episode.
See you
bye.
next time. If you want to support us, you should follow our socials. Our website is akaapodcast.carrd.co. There you can join our Discord and sign up for our email. Our Instagram is at AKA Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at A.K.A. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.